Ready for part 7? Fortunately Milk by Neil Gaiman. And the Galactic Police have just arrived. I'm going to show you the picture before I read it. Here we go. You see it well enough. Galactic Police. Tyrannosaurus Rex by the looks of it to me. There were red and blue flashing lights, and then stepping off their space bikes, there were about half a dozen uniformed dinosaurs, holding unmistakably large and extremely serious weapons. They pointed their weapons at the green globby aliens. "You are charged with breaking into people's planets and redecorating them," said a noble and imposing-looking Tyrannosaurus Rex. "And then again, with running away and doing it again somewhere else, over and over. You have committed crimes against the inhabitants of 18 planets, and crimes against good taste." What we did to Rigel 4 was art, argued a globby alien. "Art? There are people on Regal 4, said the Ankylosaurus, who have to look up every night at a moon with 3 huge plaster ducks flying across it. Something very long with a head on it came over to us. It was attached to a very large body on the other side of the room. "Who are you?" it asked Professor Stegg. "And why is your gorilla holding a trans-temporally dislocated milk container?" "I'm not a gorilla," I said. "I am a human father." "The human is holding the milk in order to make these evil redecorating snot bubbles go away and stop menacing this planet and us," said Professor Stegg. Kind of need to see the pictures, don't you? Otherwise it can be a bit confusing. The Diplodocus, in a police cap, opened its mouth and didn't say anything. The Tyrannosaurus, who had handcuffed all of the green globby people together with something that looked a lot more like pink string in a can than it looked like handcuffs, which was a good thing because they probably didn't have hands and they definitely didn't have wrists. And they looked at us, and his eyes opened wide. "Great day in the morning," he exclaimed. "A biped, a stegosaurus, a floaty ball person carrier." And he stopped as if unable to go on. The pteranodon flapped over to us, then landed on Professor Stegg's feet. He looked up at him and said hesitantly, could you be the inventor of Professor Stegg's pointy zooming into outer space machine, of Professor Stegg's really good moves around in time machine? Would you be the author of my travels into the extremely far future and what I found there, Professor Stegg? Wisest of all dinosaur kind? Madam, is it truly you?" Well, there's Hedge. Hedge, come and say hello and don't cause chaos with the plants or the computer falling off again. I'm a bit confused by all these dinosaurs, all right? And I'm guessing you are too, but let's just go with the flow, okay? "It is." "It is," said the professor. "Madam," I thought, embarrassed. "And this is my assistant." The pteranodon extended a wingtip for me to shake, and without thinking, I moved the second milk from my right hand to my left. Uh-oh, where the first milk was. Everybody gasped. Unfortunately, the milk, unfortunately, the milk that had been in my right hand, which was in the same as. I think I need to start this bit again. Or are you going to go with me? Oh, come on. You know Miss Bishop makes mistakes. I'm not having the best morning this morning. So I'm going to start that paragraph again. Okay. Fortunately, the milk that had been in my right hand, which was the same as the milk that was already in my left hand, the same milk 15 minutes apart, touched each other. I held my breath. There was a fizzing noise and a mewing as if 100 kittens were being agitated in an enormous bucket. That means like shook around. Agitated, good word. Professor Stegg closed her eyes. I can't look, she said. So we found out that Professor Stegg is in fact a woman, or a female rather. What's going to happen? I'm going to try and show you the picture whilst I read this bit. 3 purple dwarfs with flower pots on their heads appeared from nowhere and began to do a little dance. Did the universe end? Said the Tyrannosaurus with his eyes tightly scrunched closed. Look, I said. We all watched the dwarves dance. They weren't human and they weren't dinosaurs. They had purple skin and orange beards and flower pots on their heads, and the flower pots on their heads had lots of flowers growing out of them. They did a complicated sort of dance with lots of leg kicking and shouts of oi and ole and patung. And then, as strangely as they had come, they vanished. Ah, said Professor Stegg. It was always a possibility that this might happen. Unfortunately, the universe has not ended. She pressed the button again. With her tail, a small hole in space and time opened up. I was standing on the other side with a baffled expression on my face. Now, interestingly, this is very much what Neil Gaiman looks like. So I think this is a story that he's written about a story that he told his own children. Baffled. There's another good word as well. He's looking baffled. So baffled, confused, discombobulated. Catch! I shouted, and I threw the milk through the hole. As the portal closed, I saw me catch the milk using my stomach. The green globby aliens having been rounded up and taken away, all the space dinosaurs gathered around. I can't believe it, said the Diplodocus. Professor Stegg, just like in the comics. The dinosaur who taught us that in the far future small mammals will eat their breakfast cereal with milk on it. Inventor of the button. She's here, in front of us, with her gorilla. Not a gorilla, but a human father, said Professor Stegg. And all the other dinosaurs gasped and said things like, how wise she is, and what a brain, and how can you tell the difference between that creature and a gorilla? Is it the shoes? Professor Stegg said, this human father has been my companion on my strange journey into the future. Now, before I take my leave of him and come with you, O space dinosaurs, we should sing to him one of the great old dinosaurs' songs. They sang me a song in 6-part harmony called How Do You Feel This Morning When You Know What You Did Last Night? Then they sang me another song called Don't go down to the tar pits, dear, because I'm getting stuck on you. The Galactic Police dinosaurs sang me a song about being galactic police and saving people all over the universe and driving very fast on space bikes. And then they all sang a song called I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Hard, Hairy, Wet, White Crunchers. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. So it's their version of that, which was an ancient dinosaur song which had apparently been written by Professor Stegg's Auntie Button. There is nothing in the whole of creation as beautiful as dinosaurs singing in harmony. Now, said Professor Stegg, I should go off in my floaty ball person carrier with my newfound dinosaur space patrol friends, and I shall explore the universe, and then I shall return to my own time and write a book about it. You actually write several books, said the Diplodocus. Professor Stegg's Guide to Everything in the Whole Future was my favourite. It's very inspirational. I said goodbye to all the dinosaurs. I thanked Professor Stegg for saving my life. Here we are. Here's Professor Stegg's, the cover look of Professor Stegg's book. Professor Stegg's Guide to Everything in the Whole of the Universe. I bet that's a good read. With the gorilla with the milk on the cover. Looking baffled. Not at all, she said. We were both fortunate that you had the milk with you. It's not every container of milk that saves the world, after all. That was me that saved the world, I said. Not the milk. The space dinosaurs all had their pictures taken holding the milk and smiling at the camera. I'll show you that. There we go. Look, there's their photo album. Dinosaurs with milk. What are you going to do with the milk? They asked me. Are you going to put it in a museum? No, I'm not, I told them. I'm going to give it to my children for their breakfast cereal, and possibly will pour some in my tea. Professor Stegg nipped back up the rope and climbed into the basket of her balloon. The last I saw of her, of any of them. The whole inside of the flying saucer was fading into light so bright I had to close my eyes and look away. And then I was standing at the back of the door of our house, none the worse for wear. Fortunately, the dinosaurs had given me back the milk after they'd taken a photograph of it. So I came in, and here I am. How are we doing for time? Let's have a little look. Oh, that's a long one. Better leave it there. See you next time. Could be the last instalment.